beginning, David Noakes, because I think this is where people will enjoy understanding. GcMF, the short name for it is GcMAF. It's a human protein that we all have. Well, most of us, I guess the people who get really ill and sick and weak, the body then loses the GcMAF, which is a natural disease immune fighter. Is that close?
Yes, that's very close indeed. So all healthy people make GcMAF. That's about 5 billion of us. And 1 billion unhealthy people cannot make GcMAF because their diseases send out an enzyme called nagalase to prevent production of their own GcMAF.
Oh. So it's a tricky way that these maybe bacteria, David Noakes, or viruses, whatever funguses, whatever cancer is, there's, opinions about that, to stay alive. So they send nagalase out to disable the GcMAF.
Yes, viruses are very clever things.
Mm-hmm.
And they know that to survive in the body, at least 50 viruses are capable of making nagalase, and they can bring down your body's GcMAF. And when the GcMAF is down, then the disease explodes. And one of the diseases that works in this way is cancer. But we know of at least 50 diseases that can send out the enzyme nagalase and disable your body's GcMAF.
Uh-huh. And who discovered this? Who discovered this GcMAF and nagalase kind of paradigm?
Well, there were scientists working on it. It was called CSF1 in the 1980s. And then a Dr. Yamamoto, PhD, renamed it GcMAF. So he's the first one to work on it with the name GcMAF.
Mm-hmm.
But it's been known about for 25 years and concealed from the public for 25 years. And it is a brilliant way of getting rid of about 50 diseases completely without side effects.
Really? And who has come up, David Noakes, with this 50 number?
Well, we have really, because we've treated about 50 diseases successfully. We've supplied about 9,000 people through 350 doctors and clinics. So that's really a number that we have come up with.
Mm-hmm.
Although I have to say, we, of course, were not the first people in. The first people in were the 200 scientists who have produced research papers on GcMAF.
Mm-hmm.
So there are about 120 peer-reviewed research papers on GcMAF published in the world's top scientific journals.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a well-understood, well-researched molecule, GcMAF.
So, how long have you been involved with this, Mr. Noakes?
Well, I started in July 2009.
Mm-hmm.
I was a bit horrified by then it had been known for 20 years and no one was making it available to the public. So I became determined to make it available to the public. And we employed 4 scientists and 7 doctors, and we ended up writing 32 scientific research papers, also peer-reviewed, published in the world's top scientific journals.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes, it's been pretty hard work, really.
Yeah, I bet so. So, you're pretty confident that this paradigm of the various diseases that they're called send out this nagalase to disable the GcMAF. That's science. You're confident that that's the way it works.
Oh, yes, we're pretty confident in everything because none of the 120 research papers disagree with each other. They all agree with each other. And an awful lot of research has been done. So we are very confident in what we're stating. And everything that we state is already published in a scientific research paper from the scientific point of view.
Mm-hmm. And these scientific research papers, Mr. Noakes, have some of these papers and work been done by scientists that had a financial interest in this or paid by companies that were going to make it?
Well, we are the only company at the moment making genuine GcMAF. And, there are scientists from 8 nations all over the world, completely independent. There's no question of people being paid for this. I mean, my favorite research papers done by 5 Japanese research institutes, cancer research institutes, including the Atomic Bomb Institute of Nagasaki. And these people are at the top of their professions. And they did experiments which showed that GcMAF reduces tumors 90% in 3 weeks in mice. That's a completely independent paper. And you could argue that my 4 scientists are probably the only ones whose salaries started out as income from GcMAF. So you could argue about my 4 scientists and their 32 research papers, but I can assure you that my scientists are completely honest, and so is our company.
Fair enough. What is the difference that you've been able to determine the body's reaction, or let's say cancer cells' reactions to human, real, genuine GcMAF that we make, or us healthy ones, or what you're able to put into the person from a lab?
Right. Well, I mean, we extract GcMAF molecules from blood or colostrum, and the GcMAF molecules that we use are identical to the ones that are made by human beings. Well, they are made by human beings.
Mm-hmm.
And although animal GcMAF is slightly different, human GcMAF works right the way down to mice, right through the animal kingdom. And, we know that for a fact because a lot of experiments have been done on mice with human GcMAF.
Mm-hmm. So you're just using human GcMAF, not animal GcMAF?
Yes, that's all we've ever used, yes.
Do you think the animal GcMAF from colostrum has some kind of these benefits as well?
Would it work in humans? I'm absolutely certain it would, because human GcMAF works in animals, although we've just never looked that way.
I see.
Not looking in that direction. But I have to say, we have treated quite a number of animals successfully. And we have cured a number of animals of terminal stage 4 cancer. Dogs, cats, and mice, anyway.
Really? Wow. David Noakes is with us, and we have some questions from you, Mr. Noakes, already in our email basket. If you'd like to ask a question, fascinating subject, Patrick Timpone, OneRadioNetwork.com. David Noakes, he is the CEO of Immunobiotech. They're making GcMAF, and they're studying this whole nagalase thing, and we're going to do a couple of quick little breaks here. Mr. Noakes, stand by, and we'll be right back. He is over in Europe. Got a pretty good line. 888-663-6386. Email Patrick at OneRadioNetwork.com.
SDL Incorporated and Andrew Goff